Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Danielle Bird, and today we are going to look at 2023. What can we expect? What can you expect for 2023? I'm going to invite in the spirit of the Most High through our Christed essence. May we recognize it. Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. Nothing but the truth and only the truth. Only the information that I only receive information that is in my highest and greatest good, harm to none to receive. Spirit of the Most High, what is it about 2023, numerology, year number 7? What do we need to discuss? What do you want to bring at the forefront of our minds, our hearts, our bodies today? Protect me, protect the viewer. Allow us to know the truth. Give me a moment. Oh! Doggies. Love that. It's okay. It's okay. If I sound extra nasally or extra raspy, it's because I just spent the last week in a fever in bed, basically, with respiratory virus. So that's how I spent my new year, which honestly was really nice because it forced me to really relax. So I'm grateful to be alive, to be well. What can you expect for 2023? Number 7. Let's get into it. And I'm going to just ground myself after that encounter with the dogs. Okay, we're back. The word that was coming up for me was consecrated. So I Googled it, and essentially it means to set apart for a special and often higher end that stresses an investment with a solemn or sacred quality. So 2023 is a lot about meeting your sacred self, the meeting of your sacred self, you meeting your sacred self. I think that's so beautiful. I think that is so beautiful. What is your sacred self? It is your essence. It is who you truly are. And I can see many different times in my mind right now of videos on different platforms that I've made concerning the wiping of the slate, the clearing of the slate, the clearing of the mirror, the clearing of patterning, the clearing of urges and desires that came from very lower aspected selves. Interesting, I just said that. But yeah, that's very interesting. That connection. I meant to say lower selves, because you are multidimensional, so shadow aspects of you, hurt aspects of you. But that I just said cells is interesting, because the way that cells work, or the homeostasis quality in your body works, is that your body is always trying to keep a balance internally. So your cells will desire and be programmed towards creating an environmental space around them that is similar, that is familiar, that is the average of the last 28 days or so lifespan. And it's like a loop, breaking out of the loop. 2023, number 7 year, is breaking out of the loop. I love this. The reason why I was like, oh, cool, cells, because it's just, that is what was habitual, that is what was familiar, that is what was, confirmation verbs, but that is how far you could get to. That is what your energy, resources, and your capabilities, and your capabilities allowed you to get to. Because we will always walk as far as we can. We will always try to be as courageous as we can. One of the most wisest people that I know, human beings that I know, that I've met in my life, she said that when it's time, you'll know. And I used to be like, I don't know about that. But no, truly, when it is time, you will do it. You will move. You will break up with them. You will ask them out. You will leave that job. You will find the new one. You will buy a new course. You will dedicate yourself. You will change a habit. When it is time, you'll know. This is the divine feminine in us coming back into recalibration. You will know. And how against everything that society has taught us to be programmed as, is that we are taught to seek. And there is a time and place for that, absolutely. But we are less taught to seek within, where all of the answers actually are, than we are to seek outside of us. And that's why it's like there's something missing, there's something missing, there's something missing, this void that you feel, because the recipe for fulfillment is inside of you. It's a container inside of you, housed in your heart, housed in your cellular membranes somewhere, that only you can access with your desire to do so and your aligned actions to follow through with that. Number 7 is very spiritual in nature. I mean, all of the numbers, no, there's 9 numbers, right? Or there's master numbers, 11, 22, 33, 44, so on and so forth, of the same number that you don't break down because they hold a strong resonance together in themselves in a mirrored fashion. But that's another topic for another day. But 2023 is 7 because 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 3 equals 7. So we're dealing with the energy of 7 for this year, for the Gregorian calendar. And I don't know about you, but I can feel a shift. I could feel the shift on January 1st. I could feel the shift. I knew in that moment, it's 7 now, it's not 6. And that is not anything outside of me, right? That's just me being in tune with the essence within. You have an essence within that is connected to the same information that I am connected to in different ways. So the meeting of your sacred self. When I was Googling that, I came upon the synonyms of dedicate, devote, and hallow, which means holy. And all of those are to set apart for a special and often higher end, but the consecrated specifically stresses the investment with a solemn or sacred quality. So 2023 is you investing in your sacred self. And what that means, that investment, is really making the choices that are conducive to your sacred self, to your essence. It's nothing outside of you. It's your essence that you already are. Making those decisions is an investment. Making those choices is the investment. And so I wrote intentional living, slow and soft. Because if you're watching this video and you're like, oh, well, I don't really know what my essence is, I don't really know what my energy is, that's okay. That's okay. That's where you are on your journey, and that's where you're meant to be. But the way that you can uncover it is by allowing space for it to be shown to you. So getting rid of, letting go of that which is not resonant with you, because your essence is your resonance. And so, like I said before, I was talking about that mirror being cleaned and how it is fresh. It is fresh now. In 2023, the mirror is fresh. You are being able to be met with yourself, with your multidimensional self in its fullness. And it will reverberate through everything that you do. So you will find yourself at times shocked at making decisions that beforehand you would have never even thought of, or you would have never even wanted or craved. And a lot of this has to do with the work that we've been doing with the Scorpio South Node collectively, in shedding all of the things that are so heavy, so taboo, so scary, so shameful, so deceitful, so manipulative in ourselves, guys, in ourselves. In yourself. I never want to make you point fingers to other people. What is that quote? As you point one to someone else, there's 4 pointing back at you. That's karma. And I feel like the video that I'm making now is definitely going to be able to be applicable for the rest of... Oop, my ears started ringing. Thank you, Spirit. It will be applicable for the rest of 2023, the entire year. However, there's going to be a huge shift because the nodes of the moon, which is the south and the north nodes, are going to change in April. So there is going to be the main underlying current foundation that is like lifting us up, like little rafts almost, little rafts bringing us through our life in this year is going to shift tremendously in April, at the beginning of spring, pretty much. And the reason being is the astrological new year, so the sun new year, is spring. So yes, this is the Gregorian calendar new year, but more so in your spirit, because the sun represents your spirit. We will see a big shift as well then, that I'm sure I will make another video around then as well. But we very much have the same south node and north node that we have had since last April of 2022. And so we will still have themes from last year carrying on. And this is why I love astrology, because it really shows transits don't go off the Gregorian calendar. They do their own thing. The cosmos does its own thing. The Most High does its own thing. Okay. Big themes that we'll see this year is spiritual protection and psychic protection. You getting to know your own needs in that, and you creating habits and rituals and dedicating yourself to them in the same way that you dedicate yourself to your basic hygiene. There's going to be a coming together of our different bodies. And there are definitely many different ways that we can categorize this, conceptualize this. Different cultures all have a different way of viewing it. But 4 main bodies that within them have other bodies, without getting too confusing on you guys, is our physical body, our emotional body, our mental body, and our spiritual astral body. That would be the body that is flying around when you're in your dream state. And that is the one that is connected when you pass from this world, from your body. You will go through your astral spiritual body, your soul. 7s are a lot with initiation, have a lot to do with initiation. And so it's funny because if you look mainstream, spirituality can be portrayed as this love and light affair when that's only half the coin. That is a mental disorder. Like, to view, I'm not saying this in a mean way, to view life as simply love and light that is a mental disorder. It is a way of perceiving reality that is disordered. Essentially, that's basically what mental disorder means. Because nothing is ever so simple, so cut or dry, so all or nothing. That is a cognitive distortion. Spirituality is everything. Everything is spiritual. Drugs, spiritual. Violence, spiritual. Pieces of grass, spiritual. Water, spiritual. Conversations, arguments, spiritual. Driving recklessly, spiritual. Church, spiritual. Your eyelashes, spiritual. Horror movies, spiritual. Everything. There is not one thing that you see or that you imagine that is not spiritual, because it all comes from spirit. It is all spirit manifest in matter in different ways. So no, spirituality is not just love and light. That is a perspective. That is not a accurate representation of the spiritual journey, of the spiritual path. Spirituality is more like an exorcism. It's an exorcism. Is there love and light in spirituality? Absolutely. And that is the light at the end of the tunnel, and the force that pulls us forward, that propels us to continue, that gives us hope. That is the energy of the Most High. However, it is simply one facet of it. It is one portal of magnetism in the big spectrum of everything that is. And so a lot of you in 2023, with this number 7 initiation being the main theme, consecrated into your sacred self, are going to start to uncover organically. It's not a forceful thing. It's very meeting each moment at its appropriate edge through your breath and presence. Many doors opening, many faculties within yourself, past life remembering for many of you. Perhaps don't force it. If something doesn't happen in your life when you are truly in alignment, it doesn't need to. It doesn't need to. And if you feel like it needs to, it's probably your ego thinking that you have an idea of what your life needs to look like for your life purpose, your life mission, your life fulfillment, that is not in alignment with what your soul actually signed up for. The key here being to remain calm, slow, and clear so that you can actually hear your soul wisdom, the spirit of the Most High that exists in every single one of us, because that is how you uncover your life purpose, your life fulfillment. It's you. It is you. It is uncovering you, all that you are. And that's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Other themes that I feel are coming up are our ability and opportunity to be with is expanding greatly without becoming. that which we are with and losing ourselves in it. So our own ability to stand firmly and stronger in our divine self, our essence, our magnetism, our creativity, our uniqueness is growing, and that growth is inadvertently morphing everything around us in a beneficial way. There are going to be many opportunities to actualize your dream life this year, and don't be swept away in the illusion of only big moments mattering. To do something great is to do the small things greatly. That is a very butchered way of saying a very famous quote that I can't remember, but right, if you want to be a master of great things, become a master of yourself. That is the first initiation. And I feel like this year is probably a lot of you guys becoming the master of yourself, and that there is an unconditional love with that wasn't present before. Getting to know and deepen your own relationship to what you consider to be your source. There's no right or wrong here. The only wrong that you could do is to reject that which you innately are. That is the only wrong that you can do. Like, that's the only wrong decision you can make, is to reject or repress that which you innately are. Because that which you innately are is your sacred self. And so you will find yourself in the wrong places with the wrong people, with the wrong conversations, if you are rejecting your sacred self. Because that is your map, that is your compass, that is your telephone line to the Most High. But there will be many opportunities to actualize on Dream Life and go on new adventures, a lot of fated meetings, and your psychic abilities and mastery of your embodiment is really starting to turn up. I saw this little energy swirl. Me making sure there's nothing scandalous. No, there's not. This energy swirl when I was just closing my eyes, and that's what it is. This is like DNA reprogramming as well. If anybody's familiar with the way that the DNA is, they swirling up, a beautiful weaving together is occurring. But further than all of that, not only will your relationships to the Most High develop, your understanding of how the Most High, replace the Most High with whatever word you utilize. There's no right or wrong here, because your relationship is just that, a relationship, personal relationship with them. And your relationship to your guides and your own multidimensional selves is going to deepen. So your shadow self and whatever parts you've been dancing with personally is going to deepen, and your love, your unconditional love, is going to be the main talking point, is what I want to say. The conversations are going to start to be very, very unconditionally loving in nature, and the way that we are karmically corrected is going to start being very, very quickly. Like, as it's giving the energy of not even being able to lie. Maybe before you, and I'm talking even just white lies, not lies that are dangerous in nature, but maybe lying or omitting something in order to appease a situation, okay? Like people pleasing tendencies. These sorts of ways of behaving are not going to be able to, you will find it very, very difficult to do that now, because your sacred self is so pronounced, and your relationship with source spirit, however that manifests for you, is going to be so loud this year. You're not going to be able to do that, and you will find immense friction, immense chaos, immense destruction within yourself, your mental state, your emotional state, others' perceptions, because it's a storm created so that you can understand that you're stepping in the wrong direction. And that's also something that's going to come up here. The signposts, the cues and clues and the gems and the ways that spirit speaks to you, that tells you where to go, where not to go, how to adjust. It's going to become very clearer for you. So let's pull some cards. I'm so excited to do this. I am so excited to do this. I have not pulled cards in so long, it feels. This is my joy. I love this. I'm not doing private readings anymore because I have more of a joy to serve the collective in a non-monetarily way, to be honest with you. And I'm focusing on my masters. So sorry to those who love the private readings, but I don't feel called to that right now. And I don't think I will in the future. I think it would be something else. But Spirit of the Most High, thank you for being here with us. What are the themes that you want to bring forward for 2023 for our highest and greatest good and harm to none? What do you want us to be aware of? Is it all of these? I don't want to do that because can we just do one? Do we want this one? Yep. One at a time. We have the fault line coming out here. So as I look at this, okay, I'm being brought, actually, this looks like hands. You see that? Like, what are they called? The nerves and the veins and the lines on your hands. So this is okay, I'm getting for a lot of you, or for a lot of us, might I say, there's ancestral wisdom coming forward at the forefront here. When I see veins and lines and cracks and scars, I see wisdom. I see, especially when it comes to the bodies, I think about ancestral lineages and how we are similar. We have similar features as our lineage. Fault line here, I think that this is, some of you guys are going to understand within your DNA. DNA is very strong here. Past life or rememberings or dreams are very significant here. But I feel this coming in as an aha, a knowing, and like I don't want to say abrasive, but it's abrupt in a soft way. A realization in a soft way of this is where I need to go. And I think it's connected to ancestors giving you and helping with that. Let's read the fault line here. 161. The fissure, the crack, the weak link. Imagine walking across a frozen lake that begins to crack before your eyes. No matter how optimistic and brave you might be, panic ensues. You become fearful and tense and long for stable ground. Such is the energy of the fault line. It's the energy of walking on eggshells, of precarious dynamics, of sensing what is ready to break open into chaos. It's likely this cracking open is overdue as fault lines develop slowly and naturally from underlying elemental pressures. Hold on a second. I need to, I want a highlighter. I have like 27 pens in here, but no highlighter. Oh my gosh, a 28th. Guys, like, what is this? Danielle? Student life? Okay. We're just going to use a pen because why am I rejecting that pens can be beautiful, you know? That felt very significant though. As fault lines develop slowly and naturally from underlying elemental pressures, because there's this, okay, let me get myself here. Let me get myself ready here. Sevens are initiation. I said this, right? And I said to be not wary, not afraid, but conscious that spirituality is not just love and light. It's pretty much an exorcism. It is literally an exorcism. Rebirth, creation, manifestation requires the release of the old, the deadening of what is gone, what does not work, what hurts us, how we hurt ourselves, how we hurt others, retribution of karma, acceptance of karma. This stuff is not for the weak. It is for the brave. It is for the courageous. And the way that it manifests looks different to everybody, okay? It doesn't just look like being in isolation, doing all of these things. No. For some, a spiritual journey is actually becoming a dancer, becoming a performer, and doing that in front of the whole world. Or it's doing that in front of yourself in the mirror. That's a spiritual journey. Don't get caught up in the boxed way of seeing it, okay? But as fault lines develop slowly and naturally from underlying elemental pressures. With this, I feel like a lot of you guys might reach a breaking point, getting goosebumps, of some things in your life that you have been denying for a long time. And you're going to find yourself, I'm getting goosebumps everywhere, I'm crying, I'm very clairsentient, thinking, what is wrong with me? Where did I turn the wrong way? What did I do wrong? What did I do to deserve this? Am I a bad person? There are a lot of you guys who, and listen, I went through down this so many times, who will feel very lost, who will feel very afraid, who will feel very alone. And I'm not saying this to scare you. You shouldn't be afraid because you're not alone. You're with the Most High. And this is part of the exorcism process. But when you're at these moments of breakage, I want you to remember that fault lines develop slowly and naturally. Slowly. This has been a long time coming. And naturally, this is the organic process of death and rebirth. Society wants you to rebirth yourself constantly. Knew you. Why aren't we talking about the deadening process? The winter, the quiet, the no one texting your phone, the having to be celibate because you want something real and raw and sacred, not being available for everything. And there's no wrong or right. I'm not saying these are the right ways to do things or the wrong ways to do things or you have to. No, remember, your path is your own. From underlying elemental pressures. What are elements? Here we have fire, earth, air, water, spirit, or some call it the astral, right? Like I said before, talking about the bodies. It's likely this cracking open is overdue. When we surrender, when we accept defeat, when we really slow down, when we ask for help, when we put our egos to the side, this allows the miracles to come in. Not before, but when we finally set down our pride and let ourselves break open, can we truly face the reality within us and move through it. The fault line. This card comes as a potent warning not to deny the shakiness that's afoot. It's much better to prepare yourself for change than to walk along the fault line pretending all is well. There is no easy fix for the situation at hand. It will require a foundational shift that alters the current dynamics from the ground up. Wow. When light, redefining reality, breaking open. When dark, precarious, pretending, delusion. Go deeper. Dance to Everything is Broken by Bob Dylan. It is possible that something a loved one said caused a crack in your relationship that has never been mended. Revisit it. The time to heal is nigh. In Japanese kintsugi pottery, gold is used to mend cracks. Breaks are thought of as precious rather than something to be hidden. That's so amazing. I love that. So wow. I really feel like, don't mind my Scorpio moon self here. I really feel, I'm also on my period, so I'm like, has any of your guys' cycles been odd? Because mine for the last 2 cycles have went from 28 days for several years to 20 days. Last month, I had a 20-day cycle. Again, a 20-day cycle. Weird. Whatever. But 2022 was a lot about, I feel like the Most High was getting us, we were wrestling a lot with, I got it, I don't got it, I got it, I don't got it, with whatever part of you was so broken that finally that we got exhausted in that dance and we surrendered and said, I'm not okay in this area, in this part, whatever it was. And so 2023 is the rebirth of like the breaking open. It's really like, okay, I'm coming out of the shell. Like I'm coming out of my shell. I'm allowing myself to come out and have some work to do. I'm going to be honest. I have some work to do. I'm accepting that the life that I want to live requires me to do work, to do inner work. And don't go seeking for it. I say this so often. It comes to you. It's better to prepare yourself for change than to walk along the fault line pretending all is well. It will require a foundational shift that alters the current dynamics from the ground up. Redefining reality. Tell me about this fault line. Can you confirm the fault line, please? In a way that explains this well for us for 2023. The orphan. Okay, yeah, and that came out earlier before. So yeah, it's a lot of moving from, I'll show you guys the card. Did I say, okay, it's reminding me of a serpent and stuff like that. This makes sense because this is very much the Scorpio South Node energy still with us. And the hunter here. So there's this true, we're coming from, interesting, it's not a lotus flower, but it is giving me that vibe here. And number 7 is the 7th chakra, which is the crown, the lotus flower, the 1,000 peel opening lotus. because that's really how expansive we are. Some of you are feeling very, very, very alone in this path. You're not alone. You're not alone. And if you feel so alone, it's probably because you're existing from these fault lines, these experiences that you've had, these parts of you that felt orphaned. So what's coming up to be alchemized and rebirthed, literally with the symbol of the serpent is rebirth, is these orphaned parts of you, the parts of you that you've denied and abandoned, that at once were denied and abandoned outside so that you were internalized it. These parts are coming forward because what's been happening with the hunter at the bottom here is that they have been the reason why you've been running, you've been rushing, you've been forcing, you've been operating in a toxic way for yourself, for your well-being, for your nervous system. What comes to mind is procrastination, filling every single moment of your day, not doing everything for everyone else and not for yourself first, people pleasing, making yourself small. These are all signs that a fault line has been activated and the orphan energy in you has been running rampant. The cure to it is to sit with it and not leave it. You don't need to become it. Like I said before, in the beginning, we're going to be better at being with something without becoming it, witnessing while staying in the role of the observer, not completely emotionally detaching from it, but having a higher level of understanding that it was beautiful. Your experience of it was beautiful and it is a part of you and it will be wisdom. It is wisdom in you. Should you choose to shower it with unconditional love instead of the shame that the world would have you give it to yourself. Wow, this is really beautiful. And I feel like this is funny because it really explains what I was saying before about spirituality is not love and light. Here we have the fault line and the orphan coming out here. Let's see. The orphan is 71. The wounded child, the abandoned, the beggar. To study the orphan is to study the deep and challenging energy of our time. We are more connected, yet face collective isolation. The refugee crisis haunts our planet. Children are separated from parents, and the earth begs for our attention. We are in a time of universal orphanage, of nature, of each other, of our own hearts. Take refuge in the fact that we all share this core wound and dilemma. It is normal to fear this card, as it haunts the caverns of the soul. When it appears, take time, real time, to be in the presence of the feelings this card stirs in you. Let it humble you. What are you starving for? What is the deepest gift you could imagine giving to others? What has been rejected is quite possibly what is most needed, dear one. I'm so emotional in this video. When light, deep solace, deep acceptance, and deep love. When dark, distance, hates, and avoids, controlling and limiting. Access this archetype through creative acts like drawing, painting, or writing. To keep it simple, ask the orphan what it wants to draw, make, and say. Tenderness beyond tenderness is required. Imagine holding yourself in your own hands. Recognize that each one of us fears rejection and isolation is to take one step toward the orphan. More kindness always. Go deeper. Mary Oliver's The Kitten. I love this book. But yeah, so it seems like many of you may have been avoiding these orphan parts of yourself, and that they are, I'm hearing treasure, they are actually to be treasured in you, and they are going to be coming forward a lot this year in order for you to recognize that they are a sacred part of you. I would like to now move on to Bifrost. Let's see. What else do those who are here, what would you like to say, Spirit of the Most High, about 2023? What do you need to know for highest and greatest good, and harm to none? That is the journey of coming home to yourself, is like the cracks, right? The cracks in you. If you have cracks and things that are leaking in your home, like literally, you're not just going to leave them and hope for the best. Why would you leave it and hope for the best when it comes to your own vessel, your own body, your own emotional body, your own psychic body, your own mental body, your own physical body? There are things that before we may have been able to say, I'll do that later. No, now they are going to be so loud. It's like I said before, not even being able to lie anymore. It won't even be able to come out of your mouth. It's because the life that you dream requires all of your energy. It requires all of your energy. And so that's why spirituality is an exorcism. As you remember that you are a creator of your reality, co-creating with the Most High, that call in you to a rawer version, a truer version of you, requires all of you. And so these fragments, the fault lines, the orphan parts of you need to be settled. They need to be taught and reminded that their journey and experiences were real, that you did leave them, you did abandon them, whether that was dissociatively or, gaslighting yourself. Maybe you had to move on so quickly from something that happened because you didn't have the time or energy to deal with it then. It's okay. But now in 2023, these things will come up and you get to hold them. You get to welcome them back into yourself because they've always been there. And this is material coming up from the unconscious. Always celebrate material that comes up from your unconscious, because this means that you have created more consciousness, more safety in your body for it to come up, because only when energy recognizes in you that it's safe for it to surface will it come up. So thank it. Thank these orphan parts of you for asking for your hand, and speak to them. Speak to them. Say, I will never leave you. I will never leave you. You can always tell me how you're feeling. I am here. I got you. And you are speaking to you, right? So, what else do you want us to know, Spirit of the Most High, for 2023? Peace and counsel. Nerthus. Wow. I will restore your peace, but first you must stop denying what is real within you. Because peace does not turn a blind eye. Peace looks at things as they are, without distortions, in the truth of their experience. Only then can you find peace in the storm. If you reject it, you deny it, you distort it, you're creating chaos. Peace is not happiness. Peace is acceptance. Look at that, balance of the contraries. That is peace, right? We're bringing it to Libra actually as well, which is interesting because in April, the South Node is going to be entering into Libra. It's very interesting. From my lips to your ears is what I'm hearing. Nerthus, let's see what this is. This is the world of ice, north, up, left, the seeker's instinctive thinking, and the subconscious. So Nerthus is a goddess and giantess closely associated with the earth. Nerthus and earth, or Jord, earth, might be one and the same. Oh, cool. She's a goddess of absolute peace and cannot stand the presence of any weapons or indicators of conflict in her path. 2 white cows draw her chariot on her travels, and all weapons must be completely concealed before her arrival. Hold on, that feels significant. Note that the giant cow, Od Humla, which nursed Ymir in the abyss, was also white. Nerthus was worshipped and had a cult following among Germanic tribes. She's a goddess to call upon during conflict and does not stand in judgment, but has a way of allowing conflict to solve itself or dissolve it merely with her presence. Some conflict can be left alone to dissolve and doesn't need to be scrutinized or solved with effort. The presence of Nerthus in the spread acts as a dissolver. Although normally looked upon as a goddess, she is genderless, neither male nor female or both. If Nerthus okay. So that's very interesting, right? Because some conflicts can be left alone to dissolve and don't need to be scrutinized or solved with efforts. And I think that that's exactly what the Most High is trying to bring across to us. Remember when I was saying, like, don't go seeking for this. Don't create, like, self-development, self-work, like, that's such a masculine way to go about something, and that's okay. It's fine, doesn't matter. There's a time and place for that. But what I'm saying is that this stuff will spring up from your unconscious if you're aware and present in the present moment. Just be aware of your thoughts. Just be aware of your urges. Be aware of your behaviors. This is why I say journaling is so key here. But the fault line and the orphan, and then Nerthus here, it involves witnessing. You do not need to do extra, more, figure it out, all of these things. Some conflict can be left alone to dissolve and doesn't need to be scrutinized or solved with effort. The Most High is saying, how often have you tried to change something about yourself, when really what I've asked of you is to just let it go, to let go of the mental arguments, to let go of the criticism of self and others, to let go of the judgments, to witness the experience of them without becoming them. That's what's really happening here. She acts, or they, because Nerthus, nor female nor male, as a dissolver, allowing conflict to solve itself. And kind of think about, ow, frig, that really hurt. Has it worked for you to notice these things in yourself, notice these broken parts, and try to fix them, try to change them? Does that work? Or do you simply witness and have a conversation with them? Can you pour a little bit more unconditional love into the conversations you have with them every time you converse with them? That's my question to you. I think you can. I want to get one more. Let's get one more from here for 2023. Thank you. Loyalty. I love this. Loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. I love that song. Skuld, the past. Okay. What does this mean, Most High? Another serpent. Are you kidding me? Look at that. Very interesting. Let's look at it. This is the seeker's ego, the current position, the world of humans, because there's different worlds in here. Loyalty. And the past. I think it's going to be questioning the loyalty that you hold for a lot of things. The Most High is asking you to question the loyalty that you have for things of the past, with the past being at the bottom of the deck here. Let's see. I love that they're feminine. I mean, this said literally ambivalent, but their depictions here. Sigyn is a goddess and Loki's faithful wife. When Loki is captured and punished, she stays with him. She is the one who catches the poison dripping from the viper above her husband's head and delays his death, thusly postponing Ragnarok. Sigyn places herself beside her husband after his capture. For his punishment, he is held and bound with the intestines of his son in a cave, with venom slowly and steadily dripping onto his forehead from a snake's mouth, placed above his head by Skadi. Sigyn faithfully holds out a bowl to catch the poison. Each time the bowl becomes full, she leaves to pour out the venom, allowing drops of it to drip onto his face. Loki is then described as shaking so violently that the world shakes, causing violent earthquakes. The tremors of the earth finally result in Loki breaking free, setting Ragnarok into motion. Therefore, Sigyn is instrumental in delaying Ragnarok. I'm not really sure what that is. This card signifies a presence of a loyal person for the seeker, or their own loyal nature in the situation at hand, and perhaps a looming catastrophe held back by some force in the seeker's life. Okay. A looming catastrophe held back by some force in the seeker's life. So there's actually loyal people. I feel like this is loyal people. The identification of whom is loyal. The placement of that which is loyal to you in your life in 2023. In opposition and contrary to that which created this energy within the self. Why is the loyalty here? I think it's a helper. I think that's a helper. Helpers being placed in your life. Divine helpers. That looming catastrophe, held back. That's social support. Finding the correct social support in your life. And allowing yourself to receive that as well. Let's grab a rune. Can you please explain to me this loyalty card a little bit further? Most High. For 2023. What is the significance of this loyalty card coming out here for 2023? Loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. Journey. A journey riding carriage refers to the soul after death, a journey charm. I love this stuff. 131. Communication, union, reunion. Okay, maybe this is like someone from the past. I'm getting past life, something from the past, and not so much that this is a person from the past, but that this is an energy from the past being brought back that is very loyal to you. Let's read this before we get too far. Rado. This rune is concerned with the communication, with the attunement of something that has two sides, two elements, and with the ultimate union that comes at the end of the journey, when what is above and what is below are united and of one mind. Wow. Inner worth mounts here, and at such a time you are not intended to rely entirely upon your own power. Instead, ask what constitutes right action. Ask through prayer or meditation, through addressing the witness self, the teacher within. Once you are clear, you can neutralize your refusal to let right action flow through you. Oh, wow, this is, I was going to say bonkers, but this is amazing. Not intent on movement, be content to wait. While you wait, keep on removing resistances. As the obstructions give way, all remorse arising from trying to make things happen disappears. The journey is toward self-healing, self-change, and union. You are concerned here with nothing less than an unobstructed, perfect union. But the union of heaven and earth cannot be forced. Regulate any excesses in your life. Material advantages must not weigh heavily on this journey of the self towards the self. What did I say? Coming home to your sacred self. Stand apart even from like-minded others. The notion of strength in numbers does not apply at such a time. For this part of the journey, the soul's journey, cannot be shared. Another of the cycle runes, Rado carries within its form the rune of joy. For now the end is in sight. You are no longer burdened by what you've left behind. Heaven above you and earth below you unite within you to support you along your way. A simple prayer for the soul's journey is, I will to will thy will. Such a prayer of intention is proper on any occasion and is particularly appropriate as a preamble to healing. Wow, like becoming loyal, there's an energy that is ready to serve you. Whatever that energy is between you and the Most High, whether that is your sacred self, whether that is a sacred being, whether that is a sacred person, whatever it is, I cannot tell you. That is your journey. Whether that is simply you literally coming back into love with yourself, being loyal to yourself and your life mission and your life journey. This is a beautiful healing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful healing. Wow, thank you. Like, it will find you. It will find you. What you want really wants you. Like, it will find you. Water element, sensing. Beautiful. 4? Yeah. Libra, I balance. Oh my gosh. Libra is coming up so much here. 2020. So I think that when the nodes change into the Libra North node, look at that. Taurus I have, which is the Taurus North node. I meant the Libra South node. Beautiful balance. And listen, I think that there actually is going to be sacred connections and sacred unions this year. I really do. I really do. And it's this work that sets the foundation for that. Because like I said, for you to be in your life mission, your life purpose, your life fulfillment requires all of you, requires a rejection and denial of nothing that you are. Sensing, water element, sensing into balance. Like, it does feel like that. I said in my last video about Capricorn season, this negotiation of how much do I have to give, or how much do I have to move? How much do I have to get this or to do this? It's a very much like, it's a sensing. We're coming into balance with our sensing abilities, with our water abilities, with our emotional, intuitive selves, our divine feminine cells. There's this purification of the cells happening, coming back into balance, because you are more in balance with your own water element, no longer so explosive or reactive or destructive, manipulative to yourself and others. You can now meet yourself where you need to meet yourself in order to be where you need to be and do what you need to do. It's like, and all of that is no longer rejecting the present moment, because everything you need to do and be is here in the present moment. sensing into, like the heart here, the water element. Let's see. Yeah, it's the Ace of Cups. Oh my gosh. So the divine, the Most High is like, yeah, there's love. There's love abound. Unconditional love is abound. Remember how I said that? And it's not just, if you go back and watch my Libra new moon video, I said love looks different this time. It really does. It really does. You cannot expand and evolve without all parts of you expanding and evolving. That's why spirituality is an exorcism, because the darkness in you is being brought up. It has to. It has to. It's the natural way that energy works. Key ideas here: emotional nuances, trips across water, lack of energy, sensing what is accurate without being told. I'm laughing because I'm like, yeah, our energy bodies have been going through a huge shift and change here. Let matters flow. In astrology, the element of water represents our emotions and our talents of the imagination. Water characterizes the realm of vision, taking us into the quintessential depths of feeling, where intuition is more appropriate than acquired wisdom and knowledge. I'm like, with that, because this is a perspective of the person who wrote this. I would argue that wisdom is, for many of us, intuition. Everybody's faculties are different. The water element sensing, let matters flow. It doesn't only mean, like, this is what I said before when I said all the bodies coming together, emotional, spiritual, mental, physical. It's never the right idea to only listen to one of them. It is the Christed energy, which means the harmonizing of it all, that is the way. The answer is never, like I said before, it's a cognitive distortion to think love and light. Listen to your heart. Yeah, listen to your heart and your critical mind and your physical body and everything together. Calm yourself, center yourself. That's what it means to be centered, harmonized. And then what is the decision? And then what is the choice? Okay. You can trust what you feel as the best course to follow. What you are sensing right now may not be based on any logic. It's just that what you are sensing is correct. Right now, it's best to go with the flow and trust that movement. Trust that movement. And although these changes may seem gentle and gradual, trust where you're being called to balance, to rebalance, to reposition, to renegotiate, to reset, to recalibrate, to recenter. Yeah. Sometimes the water element card indicates a need to withdraw and fight another day. Yeah. Libra is about peace as well here. Very interesting. It's not 2023. Don't fight. Why are you fighting? Fighting means that you're still pushing something away. Fighting means that you're still focusing on that which you do not want, instead of placing more of that energy on that which you do want, that which you do have. If you're fighting, denying, projecting, repressing, you're not trusting. And that is exactly what the Most High wants you to do, your soul wants you to do, is to trust. Trust me so much that you don't even bat an eye at what other people are saying, what other people are doing, how they're fighting, what they're arguing about, the latest news. Unplug. It is unwell to be constantly plugged in, constantly surfing, constantly listening to other people. If it does not nourish your soul, it is costing you too much. If it doesn't bring you peace, it's costing you too much. The price is too high. In 2023, it's not going to work like that. It's not going to work like that. It is time to gather resources and gain strength before moving ahead. This can at times indicate trusting too soon, or the passive acceptance of other people's shortcomings when you shouldn't accept them. Yeah, standards are going back up as well. That is also what this is about. I balance. Yeah. Being compassionate and understanding, but avoid being a doormat. It is possible people or forces may take advantage of your benign and accepting nature. But again, don't go around fearing that people are going to take advantage of you. Understand, where are my assumptions in this? And what am I making other people responsible of, when it's really my responsibility to admit that I'm choosing to stay in a sort of place, relationship, dynamic, whatever. You are choosing. Look inward. Don't worry about the drama that surrounds you. Avoid the commotion. Sit still, float, and trust your inner wisdom. It will not steer you wrong. Exactly. Yeah, like the balance of that. coming back, sensing what needs to come into balance, sensing what needs to be done, really taking care of yourself. You're starting to come home to your sacred self and then allow yourself to embody and express that sacred self through aesthetic pleasures as well here. Libra rules aesthetic. It is ruled by Venus, but it is more so about creating the beauty in the environment. Taurus is more about creating the beauty with the sensualness, whereas the Libra Venus is my environment, my mental environment, my physical environment, all of the above. Yeah, so the Two of Pentacles is what this one represents, which is about making choices, decisions, putting things in order, being very practical, merging choices, alliance, romance, mutual support, coming to a decision, partnerships, marriage coming up, wedding, marital bliss, heart blessings, balance, seeing the danger in going to the extremes, weighing up both sides to come to the best conclusion, seesawing back and forth, staying in the middle, fence riding, mediation, artworks, galleries, museums, places with live music, not wanting conflicts. You see, we have a theme throughout this whole thing, which is not wanting the conflict. Remember that you choose the conflict if you want to engage in the conflict. When you point at other people, there's 4 pointing back at you. Understanding that karmic dance. That's what 2022 was about. Number 6, the karmic dance. You should have like a footing at it now. If you don't, that's okay. Journal. That will help you to see that. Being agreeable, playing along, keeping yourself in check. Law enforcement, courts, attorneys, and judges, bringing peace and acting or as peacemaker. Signing contracts, cosmetics and perfumes, fashion, hair salons, beauty. Not seeing value in something unless it is beautiful. That is subjective. Having a perfect eye and impeccable taste, creating something with great form and beauty, living the life of an artist, using wit, choosing a more laid-back approach, and letting things take care of themselves. So that is all that's going to be coming up here. We're pouring into those areas. And like I said, this part is going to come up most, the Libra energy in April when it shifts into that. So we do have time. So let me do that. Whoa, I almost smacked myself. Let's grab Divine Feminine card here with Kalima. Final message here, Most High, please. Final message here, Most High, please, for us for 2023 as we close out this reading. Thank you so much for all of these messages. Final message here, please, for 2023. I just heard bravery, satisfaction, sparkle. Yeah, the glitz and the glam. Adding the glitz and the glam back to your life as you embody your sacred self. I don't like how that fell out. We're putting it back. If it's the one, it'll come back. That's too many. Just get one, please. You could be the one. Just one, please. Just one. Final message for 2023. Thank you. Lalita Tripura Sundari. I love it. And Bagla Mukti. Gorgeous. Okay. Let's look. 18. With luminous grace, she plays her ways into our hearts, softening hardness and despair, awakening the remembrance of light, of love, of joy. No matter what you have experienced, your heart shall be cleansed and released from ugliness, sorrow, and pain. Negative karmic legacies will be cleared away. Our divine sister goddess invites you to recognize her golden restorative beauty shining within your heart. Cultivate that which is worthy of such beauty, for this is your essential nature. Gracefully release all else with dignity. Is that not just exactly what we've been discussing this whole time? The third of the Mahavidya wisdom goddesses, Lalita Tripura Sundari, is the divine mother manifesting as light, playfulness, and beauty. I love this. In the Shakti Tantras, or scriptures of the divine feminine, there are 2 schools. One school celebrates Kali as the primordial origin of the universe, and the other worships Lalita as such. Yet they are but 2 faces of the one divine mother. Lalita doesn't compete with Kali. She is her boon-giving brightness. Lalita's presence in a reading is a reminder to play. Her sadhana, or practice asks us to cleanse and heal our minds so we do not become consumed or overwhelmed by the suffering or ugliness happening in our world. What did I say? Without denying the dark side of human nature, we can look through the inner eye to see what is happening at a spiritual level. If we look for the inner spiritual truth, we will find divine beauty. That is the courage, kindness, selflessness, generosity, love, and strength that humans develop and express in response to their problems. Lalita is the power to recondition the mind away from the agony and into delight. This doesn't require changing the world, but rather seeing it differently. Instead of seeing humanity as victimized, weak, ego-driven, and wounded, we can affirm humanity as a collective of spiritually brave souls willing to incarnate and grow during a challenging time of spiritual obscuration on earth. There is a divine beauty in such boldness of spirit. Internally, we can shift from despair to awe, changing our chemistry along with our consciousness. As that takes place, we begin to vibrate energetically at a higher frequency. I've been feeling this, how it's interesting to see how a lot of people view the world and people in general. And I think that is so influenced by mainstream media, and so why it's important to disconnect from it to make your own opinions. Because I've always been a lover of humanity in the world, and I have a lot of faith in it. The mindset of the warrior. Challenges are recognized as means through which blessings can be activated. Exactly. The mindset of the warrior fighting against darkness can shift into the mindset of the priestess, facilitating the increasing presence of spiritual light upon earth. Same world, same circumstances, but different approach, interpretation, and response, which in turn leads to a different experience and future for all. The dogs be dogging. Sometimes we need the darkness, the feistiness of Carly and the warrior spirit, yet at other times the lightness of heart, the delighted mind, and the buoyant spirit are what will open the way for us. For life to happen, we need both night and day, winter and summer, and everything in between. Lalita is the reminder to give due honor to the brightness and light, especially if we've been dealing with a lot of darkness. In a reading, Lalita Tripura Sundari is a sign of good things intended for you. The ending of a truly difficult time is near as a spiritual shift from the dark night of the soul into something of a golden era in your life. It is a promise to release into beauty and grace. Do your work to orient yourself, to shift your inner being to be ready for her. What would it be like to dispense with worry and dwell within a continual infusion of golden grace? This is the way of Lalita. Be open to experiences of rest, pleasure, and beauty, which can elevate your frequency and help you discover new solutions to old issues. Lalita helps the mind break free from poverty consciousness and belief in lack. That is exactly what 2023 is all about, is breaking free from that poverty consciousness and lack into your sacred self, which is joy, playfulness, lightness, freedom. I love this. Ooh. Inner healing and transformation manifest through her playful energies. We become able to find delight and joy once more. Tripura translates as 3 cities and refers to the triple goddess, as a virgin, Bala, as a fertile woman, Sundari, and as a crone, Baivari. In a reading, this oracle indicates a change so radical and profound that it is irreversible. A previous chapter of your life is truly closing. It will not be reopened. Didn't I tell you that other vision I had of like in the gate? That's so not the right noise, and I couldn't get it then. I can't get it now. But like chains, locked, closed, never to return again. I love it. This will be a reason for celebration, for the intervention of Lalita in our lives brings only delight, joy, happiness, and fulfillment. Whatever you need to release right now shall create a space for what is divinely destined for you to manifest through her grace. You have every reason to feel hopeful. If you have been struggling with poverty consciousness or have lost a sense of joy and gratitude for your life path, Lalita is a portent of heart healing and restoration of grace, light and dignity in your heart. You shall awaken to your true inner beauty. You shall enjoy a change of pace and a release from intensity. Open your heart and orient your mind toward a golden era. Aw, that's so beautiful. And then here is an invocation ritual. If you want to like screenshot this and use it, you can. Okay, I'm not going to go through that just because it's a lot. I'll read the prayer, but I'm not going to go through the visual right now. Lalita Tripura Sundari, golden goddess at play, joyful Yagatambe, loving mother of the world and benevolent queen of the universe, you are all giving, so generous and kind. I open my heart to you and wonder at your unwavering desire that I should simply be happy and free. Your generosity melts all resistance. In your presence, I am as humble as a sage and as happy as a delighted child. You are my divine mother. You love me so much. On every level, I welcome your golden presence into my being, into my life and into the world, for the spiritual liberation of all beings. Jai Ma Lalita Devi. So it is. And then, of course, you continue the rest, but thank you. Wow. I love that so much. I just want to see what is the bottom. What is the bottom? What is the energy we're coming off of? Yeah. Bagla Mukti is burning golden light of divine protection. She arrests the flow of negativity, particularly that of her own making. She is divine intervention in sacred activity. She transforms our karma from that which hinders our joy to that which creates true happiness and bliss for ourselves and all beings. As you seek refuge in her, you are protected from gossip, slander, and any form of negativity from others. A positive turning of the tide of fortune is predicted. That's what we're coming up of. I don't know about you guys, but I have been very diligent with my tongue internally and externally. So my thoughts and externally, what I speak, especially when it comes from triggers inside of me, heavy emotions like envy, jealousy, and stuff like that, and being able to be really radically honest with myself. If I feel jealous, I'm feeling jealous, and I will talk to the Most High Spirit. I'll say, I'm feeling really jealous right now, but I refuse to see the distortion of jealousy, and I see it for what it really is, which is that I desire something that I see. I want to materialize something that I see. Something that I see is something that I want, something that I crave, and something that is important to me. That's what it really is. So it's like not allowing it to be negative, coming back into remembering our power of choice and how we see and perceive our own experience of ourselves and our experience of what is activated externally around us as well. So yeah, I feel like that's amazing. I had time to do everything that I wanted to do. Yeah, that's so beautiful. Let's just get closing out here. I'm gonna light some frankincense and myrrh incense. Thank you, Spirit of the Most High, for being here with us, and for bringing forth the wonderful information. Why is that one? There we go. Oh yeah, because I stuck these in old iced coffees to put them out. I'm so sorry. I was like, this feels so unsacred that I'm just like dunking these incense sticks in. I gotta find a better system. I just really inhaled that, eh? Hold on. May the viewer be cleansed. May they be protected. May their journey be... I didn't mean to turn the car on. I don't know why I just did that. What's going on here? May their journey be protected. May their thoughts be protected. Protect all of their bodies, their physical body, their mental body, their spiritual body, their emotional body. May nothing but the truth and only the truth exist there. Thank you, Spirit of the Most High, for these messages. Thank you for connecting me with those who need to hear this. Thank you for protecting us, this space. I cleanse all of these decks. I remove the energies from them. I remove any and all energies from my car. Any and all energies from the viewer that don't need to be there. And I send it into the light where it truly belongs. Thank you guys so much for being here. Let me know down in the comments how this resonated for you, what's been coming up for you, and what your hopes and your intentions are for 2023. I love you so much. And be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Stick around because there's plenty where this came from. I'm back. I love you. And yeah, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Bye.